We'll get set up, notifications. Yeah. Hope you guys are doing well. And you guys are tuning in. Man, what a wonderful day. All right, let's go. Started off this morning a lot. If you are on my email list, you got my weekly email. So excited to release the episode with my friend Sasha Shilcutt. We talked about boundaries, brave boundaries, her latest book. Let me see. I have it right here, right there. Brave Boundaries. I know it's backwards. Bear with me. Brave Boundaries. Go get your copy, especially in the topic of boundaries. It wasn't on my coffee chat caption list, but excited for that to release. What I do want to talk about today, as we are getting into this, kind of digging through different things, grace and forgiveness. I reading about this in another book, the book featured as part of the Impact Driven Leader Book Club, What to Do Next by Jeff Henderson. That podcast released last week, actually. And he talks a lot in that book about grace and forgiveness and forgiving yourself. I mean, that's something I've had to walk through in my life. And it's really a defining moment. But here's what I want to kind of add on top of that. I'm going through this right now in my family with one of our family members. And what I found, and my wife reminded me, that I was choosing not to have grace and forgiveness because I was wanting this person to really seek retribution and their own forgiveness. And I didn't feel like they were doing that. And so I was frustrated and upset. And that's not what it's about. As a leader, especially, someone makes a mistake, someone screws up, we need to condition ourselves to immediately forgive and give them grace. Because the reality is they aren't going to feel safe if they don't. They aren't going to feel safe to really learn and reflect from the experience if we're just waiting for that, retribution to continue. We're not allowing them to grow through the process, feel comfortable to reflect and evaluate if there's always something hanging over their head. I did that to my, own family member. And that's why this morning, this topic is reminding us that grace and forgiveness in a leadership perspective, man, it's so important. It really ties into this second piece today that I want to talk about is want to versus have to. I read about this in one of my morning reads, part of my routine, a book by Tony Dungy. And he talked about when he was a player, when he was a coach, the difference between mercenaries, draftees, and volunteers. Draftees just forced into it. I didn't really want to be there. Mercenaries, they were there to just make money. Volunteers were there for something bigger. In our life, if we look at the difference between want to have to, in my opinion, that's a difference between a mercenary and a volunteer. The volunteer wants to. They want to make an impact. They want to make a difference. The mercenary has to. Here's the thing. Just because someone's a volunteer doesn't mean they're not getting paid. A volunteer wants to, and they can gladly be compensated for what they're doing. A mercenary, it's more on the virtue of have to, and they'll look to the next have to if it has more money. Where in our life are we focusing on the have to rather than want to? Are we putting ourselves into roles where we get to, where we want to, rather than just have to? All right, last piece I'm going to leave you with today is my thought of the day. We didn't sign up for easy. We signed up for worthwhile. This comes from my friend Jeff Henderson, who I mentioned earlier, the book, What to Do Next. He writes and talks about that in the book is, we go through challenges in life, especially career professionally. And sometimes we fall into the habit of like, oh, let's do what's easy. It's easy. Today's easy. That Staples button, the easy button. That's not worthwhile. It really isn't. Whatever you're doing in life, whatever your purpose is, whatever your profession is, whatever your vocation is, I doubt that you signed up for it solely because it was easy. Easy just doesn't get you very far. Really, what I've experienced. Worthwhile really changes your life. Worthwhile drives you to accomplish something that is meaningful and important. It's impactful. I urge you today, as you're stopping to think about that, is where in your life are you mixing up worthwhile and easy? You're committed to worthwhile, but you wish it was easy. There's a lot of things in my life I wish it was easier, but I recognize that's my position, that's my opportunity. It's the want to rather than have to. Got to remember, for it to be worthwhile, it's probably not going to be easy. All right. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for tuning in, watching in. Appreciate it. And if you got value from today, man, I encourage you to share it with someone else. Let me know what you took from today's session, and I'll